Hey, everybody. It is Damone Seraphin here. I am the host of the Black Broadway Men Spotlight series, where we lift and laud and celebrate the accomplishments of brothers who are working in our industry. This is our second season, and I am so excited about our guest. This one, for sure, is a big one for me. We've been friends for a minute, but we've not had a time to really sit down and talk like this. So I want to just get right in with the star of stage and screen and TV. He's an activist. You've seen him in Hamilton. You've seen him in Motown doing the thing. His name is BRYAN TERRELL Clark, BTC.
Yo, what up,
BTC?
It's funny, we doing this for the people, but you already know me and you just really trying to catch up. We have not seen each other in years, man. And I'm so proud of all the work that you're doing. Congratulations on season 2.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Season 2. And yeah, man, let's dive in.
Let's dive in. So listen, and he's so right. It's like friends catching up. So like I have all these questions, but we're just gonna flow and talk because I think you have so much to offer to brothers who are doing the thing, who've been in the game, but then for those who are coming up in this industry, I think you have a lot to share. So I want to take it all the way back, BRYAN. Okay. When do you remember, when was it for you, the first time where you were like, I think I want to do this. I want to perform. When was it?
That's funny, because I do public speaking too, and as a speaker, I often get this question, and I always say that I went back and asked my mama because I don't remember. So I asked her, and my mother was like, "Before you could talk," and I was like, "No. When did I first say it? Like, when did I first say I want to be an actor?" And she said it was before you could talk. You would just like run up to the television, and your favorite shows would be on, and you would just bounce, or like music would come on, and you would run to the radio. And I think that like one of the things that she told me that I firmly believe is that oftentimes many of us come here like to this earthly plane and we already got purpose written all over us. You know, we already know what it is that we're here to do. And I think that amazing parents and mentors and amazing teachers, especially art teachers, know how to see it in a young person and help to just give them the tools to guide whatever's going to be their unique path. So for me, I think since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a storyteller. I think I love story. I love story in song. I love story in script. I love story in film and television. I love story in dance. I just love story. And, you know, now that I'm an adult and I've been working in it for a long time, I realize that it is one of the earliest forms of technology for human beings. It's a device. It's a tool by which we translate our culture, our feelings, our humanity, our stories, our information. Even from a branding side and a marketing side, there's a story being told. What's the story we're hearing about you? And so, man, I think it's a gift when you're a storyteller. And for those of us who are struggling sometimes to like get the gig or to make the money, or we've been an actor for a long time, you and I were talking off screen about this, but when you begin to matriculate through your life and through your career, sometimes those dreams and visions change and they expand. And I think at the core of me, I've lived through kind of the time in our industry where it was like hyphen, dash. I'm a singer and a writer and an actor and I am all of those things. But I think at the core of all of that, I'm a storyteller, you know?
I love that you said that. A thing that I say to my students a lot, and I say it to people too who are in this thing, I say, there is a difference between an artist and then just a singular. My dad used to say to me, if you are going to have a life in this thing, then you have to know how to do everything that this thing requires. So you show up as an actor, you show up as a dancer, you show up as a writer.
That's right.
You show up as and so it is that multi-hyphenate, but that multi-hyphenate is encapsulated in this one single thing. I am an artist.
Yes. Even in the story, I'm glad you said that because even in the storytelling, that still to a degree can be a title, right? It's like when you begin to distill it even more and more and more, I think it's like I'm a storyteller is a distillation of all of those titles, right? But then I'm an artist is even more core. That's being a storyteller because there's lots of different kinds of story being told. But when an artist is telling a story, it's a really specific thing. But for me, it's just like I haven't met an artist that's not curious about life.
Yes.
I haven't met an artist that's not curious, period. And I think
Mm-hmm.
really that's what it is. It's like I'm still curious about how all of this is and how all of
Mm-hmm.
this works. And then I love to, portray those things and interrogate those questions and interrogate those feelings and then show it to an audience so that we can do it together. And I think that that's kind of the core of what makes me an artist. And it's kind of the engine. It's like the engine behind the storytelling, that curiosity.
Yeah, it's interesting. You started to lean into, again, we were talking before we got on screen about this idea of matriculation and pursuit. When we're coming into this game, and we've been in it for a minute since we were kids, and there's a thing that you were told that you have to pursue.
Yeah.
There's a thing that you're told or led to desire. But the moment you become full grown in this thing and you connect to, you said something else that really hit me in my chest. You connect to purpose.
Yeah.
Because it becomes more than just a gig or thing we do. We are purposed to be and do this.
That's
then
right.
your desires start to shift.
They do.
Industry. So it becomes less about how people see me, and it becomes about what does seeing me do in the earth?
It's that, and that's where I live. You know what I mean? I think for me, though,
that's what I love about you.
Oh, thank you, bro. Like, but it's interesting though, because like, just being real, I love that we have this conversation. I'm like talking to a friend because like I'm just being real. I feel like for the longest time, bro, I would even judge some of that. You know what I mean? Like I'm out here in LA now, and I've talked to some friends that are doing the Hollywood thing, and I've had conversations with friends that got the money and they got the millions of followers, but they are still feeling unsatisfied because they don't have the artistic fulfillment, right? And then on the flip side, there are those of us, many are probably who are going to be watching this, my brothers especially, who are, Black men on Broadway. A lot of us are like, yo, I got the art, I got the integrity of what it is that I do and the discipline, and I love all of that. But yo, I'm tired of like loving the art and I can't pay my rent.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
What I'm learning how to do a little bit in my journey is to like not cast judgment on any of my chapters. Like there is that chapter where you just want the gig and you just want what the industry has told you is hot and what the industry has told you is successful. And I think that there's nothing wrong with if you took that road. There's nothing wrong if you're successful at that. There's also nothing wrong if you failed at that, because ultimately what that journey was for me was a investigation of who I was.
Yeah.
When we first met, like even me and you, when we first met, I was discovering who I am. So we can't even get to purpose yet. We got to start off with like, before it's what is it that this is here to do? First of all, what is it?
What is it? Yeah.
What is it? You know what I mean? What is it that I like? What is it that I don't like? What's been programmed into me? What's authentic to me? And I think once you start getting to the core of your authentic self, I think what starts to happen is purpose just kind of begins to show itself, because what you're here to do just ends up having meaning. But to me, ultimately, even the question around purpose has become really simple, which is, what's your reason why?
Yeah.
And when I say, go ahead. No, sorry, brother.
No, go. No, don't let me.
What I was going to say is like, even in this journey where I am right now in terms of trying to just to suspend judgment of my own journey and other people's journey, what I realize is I'm the kind of person that, because my mother's a pastor, you know what I mean? I'm a church, I'm a church kid, you know what I mean?
Hallelujah. We got the hallelujah.
Because that's what I grew up in. I think a lot of times, even in my early investigation of who I was, I would jump right to purpose.
Yeah.
And to me, what that was really about was about, how can I be of service? How can I be of service? How can I be of service? And not that that's a bad thing. That's a wonderful thing. But what I think I'm getting at is, as I get older, I realize that purpose can be as big as the work I do is all about saving the children. The work I do is all about supporting queer Black men. The work that I do is all about the Black community being held in a certain level of integrity. All of those things are important. I'm here to help the homeless. You know what I mean? All of that's great. But sometimes purpose is just your reason why.
Yeah.
The reason why you do what you do. Just have a reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If I decide to take this gig, and this gig is going to pay my mortgage for 6 months, or help me support my mother, or my grandmother who just passed away and I'm able to support in whatever way I can while she's sick and on her deathbed, then that's the purpose of me doing Hello Dolly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So like you can find purpose in everything that you do. Your reason why is your purpose. And I think the more you figure out who you really are and you begin to interrogate, why do I make the decisions that I make? That's when you'll find a little bit more clarity around purpose.
I love that. This is what do we say in the social media? We can put this in the chat. You can put this on your post. Your reason why. What's your reason why?
What's your reason why?
That'll lead you right to purpose.
I think so. You know, I had a family member years ago that told me, you know, I was so excited because they were on this TV show that I loved. And I was like, this one of them government jobs. This show ain't never going nowhere. It's going to have 24 seasons. You know, I was talking to Courtney Vance. And and Courtney was, he was like, look at that garage. And they were working on the garage. And he's like, I'm turning it into a guest house for my mother to come and stay with us because she's really sick right now. And that is my purpose for doing that show.
There you go.
And that's just as important as being like, the reason why I do my art is to, you know, be an art activist and march on Washington. It's like, you don't realize the ripple effect that you have when you're clear on your reason why.
Yeah. Just how old are you or when in the game did you have that aha moment?
Bro, I'm still having
as long as we see. No, but that's important to know. That's important. I want you to say that again, because I often tell people there's no such thing as arrival.
No.
Andre has said this. We've heard I think Cheryl Lee has led into this too. There's no such thing as arrival. The top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, right? So you said something in answer to this question because I think this is going to liberate us. When did you have this aha moment?
I think I had many aha moments. I think sometime around the time that I was doing Motown. Hey Marvin, chilling up there.
There he is, right there. There you go.
You know, sometime during Motown, I think was when Trayvon Martin had passed away. I think I may have been in workshops around that time. And then my cousin was killed sometime in that same year that Trayvon Martin was killed. And so for me, I mean, not just me, a lot of Black men that were working in Broadway. We really did all that we could for years to make sure that we were advocates and support. There was early Black Lives Matter happening at that time. I think that's when the word purpose and activism started for me. But to be honest, it was personal. It's gotta be personal. I had a social justice teacher at Temple University that said this to me. He said, a lot of you want to work in social justice, raise your hand. And of course I was like right there, like, yeah, like let's fight the power, right? And he said, most of you will not have enough fuel for the fight because this is a long distance race. This is not a sprint, and it's gotta be personal to you. And so being a Black man and having family members that were literally victims of the system, it's personal. So it's not like I'm sitting back in some kind of like esoteric way being like, oh, what is the best way for me to be purposeful? It's like, nah, this affected my family. Yes, I'm in the fight. Of course I'm in the fight. So like, that's what I mean by like, sometimes your purpose will find you. It's your reason why. Sometimes it'll find you. There are people right now that are so abundant in their giftings. They're so abundant in the blessings of their finance, and they look around and they're saying, how can I help the world? How can I help the world? And I always say, start at home. Start with what's personal. You know what I mean? Your reason why is all around you. Start there. And then if you see the doors opening and you see God ordering your steps to be able to work with this organization, you know, especially with us as Black men on Broadway, y'all know it's always going to be somebody's Monday night benefit that they ask you to sing at or perform at. And one of those days you're going to go and perform for some cause, and it's going to hit you in a different way. It's going to resonate in your body in a different way. And that's how you know I'm connected to that. I'm called to this. Y'all brought me here to perform. I'm called to this. And so as we evolve as people, I find my reason why continues to change. So you know, like you said, the bottom of one mountain is the beginning of another. I think it was Andre DeShields.
Andre said that.
Cheryl Lee Roth has said many things. If I was gonna say it to my brothers, is this a private conversation? This is just us.
It's just us. It's just boys.
I'm gonna tell you this. This is what I'm learning.
Yeah.
And if I was to quote myself, this is what the quote would be. I don't know shit. And that's the beginning of wisdom.
Say that again. I love that.
It's the truth. I don't know shit.
Uh-huh.
And that's the beginning of wisdom. It's like staying open enough and
Mm-hmm.
hungry enough and curious enough to continue to dig, to dig as a human, to continue to dig as all the other titles that Earth has given you, Black man, Black artist, to continue to be curious about that. And in that, I don't know anything. If you go into when I get a script, I go, I don't know anything. Tell me. This character, I'm not coming in trying to like impose my will on top of this character. The character, if you're open enough, will tell you who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
And if the writing is good, baby, listen, that writer gonna tell you who they are.
That's the thing.
Okay. So my point is that like stay curious, stay open, and what ends up happening is you end up learning a lot because you stay a student, and then you meet other people and you go, yeah, I was going through this and I learned that. And I was going through this. And then over time, people call you wise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People call you.
Tell me, Bryan, I love where this conversation is going. I love it. I'm not even looking at my notes. So then what is the thing that has grabbed your curiosity right now? You've done the whole Broadway thing.
Yeah.
Fiercely. You came out and you hit film and TV stuff. Fierce. Like I love watching you, and like even in preps for our work, I was like, yep, let me go and look at that again. Let me go and see that again. Yep. And celebrate you.
Thank you, bro.
But I love it because as we're talking about purpose and our why, and that it's a daily discovery. We don't know shit.
Don't know shit.
We don't know shit until we know what we know.
Listen, that's the caveat. I don't know shit. That's the beginning of wisdom. And then the next thing I would say is until I know what I know.
There we go.
And then I put it into action.
So what do you know now?
What I know now is this. Community is everything.
Yeah. Say that again. Say that again.
Community is everything.
Yeah.
And we can do more together than we can apart. So the thing that I'm excited about right now, the thing that I'm curious about right now is two things. Remember how I talked about how the first thing for my process was authenticity. Who am I? Then that led me to question and go back and say, hey, Ma, when did I first say I wanted what? Once you know who you are, then that leads to some level of purpose, right? How that's acted out. This is what I've learned as an artist. I've been an actor. I've been a singer. I've started to do some writing. Now what I've realized is I'm ready and I'm curious to make things. There are stories that God has given me. There are stories that I've lived that I think can benefit in being told. And now it's about, now that I know what the story is, the authenticity part. Yeah. The next part of putting this out there to the world is finding the right collaborators.
Yeah.
And I haven't really built those tables for myself in that way. I've done it over time in that I've worked with a lot of different people. And then it's just about calling them, picking up the phone, sending an email, sending a DM. But at the end of the day, I think there comes a time where as the artist, you start to make stuff. And I realized for me, part of that process that I love so much is collaboration. And so where I am now in my, I don't know shit, is I'm starting to become wise around what it means to make things and build the right team. Like there's a wisdom that comes along with finding the right collaborators and keeping them in your pocket, in your circle. There's a reason why teams work with the same people, right? Yeah. There's also wisdom though in knowing when to let go. Because there might be someone who is such a great collaborator with you, but where they are right now, it's just not the right thing for this project. Yeah. Or they're amazing and where they are is great, but it's just not the right thing for this project. So like learning the wisdom of how to collaborate with other amazing storytellers to tell more unique stories, more authentic stories is kind of where I'm at right now.
I love, so we discovered that as a little one, before you can even talk, you ran to the TV and you were like, ooh, you were like mesmerized. And then
Yeah.
you blew up on Broadway, killing it in Motown, killing it in Hamilton. Um, and then I noticed you started this production company.
Mm-hmm.
But this production company is not just any old production company.
Mm.
Tell us about what this jump off is or what this connection is in the endeavor for this production company as you're like continuing.
Oh, we giving exclusives? I think this is out there, but I do know for sure there hasn't been anything that's big in public yet.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I've had to learn in this process is patience. So
Yep.
I started my production company, Artist Park Productions, and I had an amazing first deal with a company called INE with Mark
Mm-hmm.
Coops. And I'm so thankful because I learned there how to develop projects, what all the little details of like setting up those meetings and pitching projects. I learned all of that. But again, I was a student all
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
But starting this production company that was able to do some of the things that I had already done, so we can do some live stuff. We can produce some things. We can co-produce. But
Mm-hmm.
now what I'm excited about is that there's some original content that part I'm gonna still hold on to that's in development right now. And eventually, as an artist, I want my cup to run over so much
Yeah.
that when friends do have the right project, that we'll be able to collaborate and that I'll be able to offer, space and a
Mm-hmm.
platform for other people to tell their stories. You know what I mean? But I think right now we're in early development. We're a creative house. You know what I mean? That's what we do. As Artist Park Productions, we're a creative development company essentially that is really looking for and fostering the development of authentic stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been blessed that we've been able to start with mine. There
Mm-hmm.
are a couple other projects that we're working with that are with other artists, but again, that's the beginning stages. We're really early in our development of other people's creative work. But that's what Artist Park Productions is. Is why I called it that. I wanted to feel like
Yeah.
a place. I wanted
Yeah.
Artist Park to feel like a place for artists to come and creatively develop their work.
Yeah.
And I realized being this long in the industry that I've got that muscle. I know what it is to look at somebody's work and go, oh, it's all there. You're just not utilizing this and you're not utilizing that. And on top of that, you just don't know the business side of how to translate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's great if you have an amazing idea, but like, does this script have the elements that sell? Does this script have the proper structure to even be read as a
Mm-hmm.
screenplay versus a play for the stage?
Yeah.
And that's not just in, did I format it right?
Yep.
It's in the order of the images. It's in the order. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So, and then once you even get the work itself, because us as artists just want the work to be good. Once the
Yep.
work is good, how do we translate that in the industry?
Yeah.
What's the difference in your pitch decks? Is this
Yep.
which pitch deck is this for? Have you gotten a line producer already? Do we know what the budget of this piece that you've written would be? Like, pull in the collaborators. If that's not your thing and you don't want to deal with the money, call your friend that loves dealing with money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit up your other friends in the industry that don't do what you do, and y'all come together and find whatever that superhero group is, the X-Men, the Avengers,
Yeah.
for black
Yeah.
artists on
Yeah.
Broadway or black artists in Hollywood. We gotta build it. We gotta build it
Yeah.
together.
Well, that's why I brought up this company, this production company of yours, because you're doing that. It's
Yeah,
again,
that's the vision.
it's the as we matriculate, right? What else do we bring to the table? What else do we bring to the table that will benefit the community at large?
Yeah.
And I love this because it speaks of a sense of play, creating a place where we can play and
Yeah.
create and
Yeah.
develop and learn and
Yeah.
grow and
Yeah.
push and pull each other. So I'm
Everybody don't
really,
like it, bro. Everybody don't like process. I do. That's what
yeah,
I realized. Like, it's like the difference between television and film. I love the money. I love that the exposure is bigger. I love that in some ways, because of what we have at our disposal, TV and film allows for even more imagination. You know what I mean? Technologically speaking, we can really do some things that you just can't do on stage, right? But one of the things I miss and I love about the craft of theater and what happens on Broadway that I think I'll always come back to is process. That's the thing that's great. When you're in that rehearsal room every day for weeks, and they've been cutting these rehearsals shorter and shorter because of money.
Let me tell you, I'm trying to direct in this schedule, and it drives me batty.
I remember
12 days to put this big old show together.
That's crazy. And you want everybody to do their best work in 12 days? That's crazy.
Yes, it's crazy.
That's crazy. I remember when rehearsal periods were no less than 4 to 6 weeks.
Hello?
Times are different.
Yeah, economy.
Yeah, the economy's different. And so I think that, like, for me, if I'm honest, and I've never said this before, but you're helping me find it. So thank you for this time. For me, bro, I think what I'm learning is that part of my production company and engaging other artists and my original work is a lot about the love that I have for process. Because in this industry, this is where the process is. I've been working on this movie, and it's going to be a pretty big movie. But I'm on the production team. It's not like my movie, right? But we've been working on this thing for like 2 years. 2 years. It was supposed to shoot this summer. We'll see what the schedule is, but it's probably going to shoot next summer. My point is that we think that television and film and all of that kind of stuff is fast. No, there's still a process to that work. It's just a different process.
This, you know what I love? You just said like 5 different things, and I'm about to respond to 3. 1, you said you're working on this film. It's not your film. You're working where on this film?
I'm on the production team.
You're on the production team.
Yeah, I'm on the team.
Oh, you on the production team. You not in front of the camera.
No.
Brothers, sometimes our place is not necessarily in front of the camera. Sometimes our place is not necessarily in front of the footlights, right? Yep. Sometimes the process requires us to be on the back end and building a thing. One of the things, and I'm making a blanket statement, but I feel like it's important for us to know, and we're talking about it, is the benefits of building. We don't jump right to the production contract. We don't jump right to the 20th Century Fox lot, but it takes place in someone's living room, and we have to show up to that.
Yeah.
So part of longevity is being at the ground floor of building a thing. So 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, you're like, hey, we made a thing. We built a thing. I'm a part of a thing. Next.
Yeah.
I feel like and part of it, I think, is part of how we were raised, coming through conservatories and jump right front. But again, the race isn't given to the swift nor to the strong, but to the one who endures.
To the end. I mean,
to the end. So that means
start
at the ground
level. I mean, we talking church, y'all, but like let's put it into Black Broadway terms. Like, let's look at Hamilton. How long do you think it took to make that thing what it was? You know, I think Lynn said 7 years.
7 years.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like stuff doesn't happen overnight.
In a coffee shop.
Come on, bro. And
sitting in the coffee shop.
I think what happens is people think it's supposed to happen overnight. But what I'll say is this: even I'm in it long enough now that I can say, even for my friends where big things happened fast. Yeah. The journey of life is still a process. Yeah. And so, you might have got that one thing or that 2 or 3 things. And now you're this thing. And that still comes with process, especially after. Yeah. Well,
I love what you said. I love what you said when we were off camera, because I was like, superstar. And you were like, thank you. And go ahead, respond to that again, because I think
you
these are important nuggets.
And I was like, superstar is tricky, because I'm like, yes, and right, it's one of those things where, and that's what I wanted to come back to what you were saying about building. I think it's so important about what you said is that you don't even realize you're building while you're building. So perfect example, like I'm on a TV show, Diara from Detroit. Diara is a phenomenal writer and performer, right? But Diara is not somebody that just cast me. Diara is my friend. So you don't realize that you're not just building the project, and you're also not just building your career. You're building relationships. So over the years, while you're working with other performers, you don't know when they're going to get their moment.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's a gift and it's a blessing. And I'm so thankful for it. When you get an opportunity to work with someone that you already love, you
Yep.
already respect, and they're ridiculously talented. And they have such a powerful vision that happens to include a character, a point of view, a writer, or whatever that you offer.
Yes.
So it's easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's an ease and a flow to that energy. And
Yeah.
so I say all that to say, like, you know, don't even give yourself the ceilings. I have friends, and I do think you have to accept how people see you and accept the biggest things about yourself. I think a lot of times for my friends who might be watching this who are really, really talented, the reason why their life doesn't look a certain way is because they just don't believe it.
Yeah.
So I am glad you said superstar, because I do need to like hear that and own that and not just like dismiss it.
Yeah.
Because I do think when it is time for you to show up in that light, if you don't believe it, they won't believe it.
Who else will? Which
Bible
is
says,
why.
as a man thinketh, so is he.
So is he.
So if you want to be a superstar,
you got to start a bit.
And because we're artists, that kind of language, celebrity, Hollywood, superstar, any of those words, they used to give me the ick.
Yeah.
And y'all can probably see I got a residual ick, but I ain't gonna lie. We letting that go. I want all of it.
Well, because listen, because you said it, the way people see you, your friends are sitting on the sideline or as we're doing our things, and we're going, my man is blowing up. My bro is doing the dang thing. Yeah. There are doors opening for you. There are platforms being developed for you because you've been on the ride. And so, yeah, you may not see it or because you're in it and you see all the other things around such designations. But for those of us who know you, love you, and just see, we're like, no, bro, it's like you Coleman, like
come on, Coleman. Come on,
listen,
Coleman.
we were all walking those streets.
People don't get it, bro. Like, and I'm glad you said that, because for me, I done spilled this tea. I got so excited. Coleman. But the reason why I got excited is because Coleman's such a great example. Like, we always say they keep moving the goalposts, and we put it outside of ourselves, and we make it seem like if you play by these rules, the industry will reward you in these ways, and that will mean success. And when we say they move the goalposts, what we mean is we did all that, and while I was doing it, they moved it. So now, what I thought I played the game, and now I'm not successful.
Yeah.
I want to flip that metaphor. The goalpost also keeps moving within yourself.
Say that. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, what was successful for me at 23 is not what's successful for me at 43.
No.
It's just different. So for me, what success looks like and feels like, that dream has expanded. Has expanded. So I need to hear superstar and not give negative energy to it. I need to hear it, accept it, and be grateful.
Yeah.
For what it took to get to where I am now, because it took more than we even had time on this podcast to get to. And it's a lot of pain in that getting, and it's a lot of growing, and it's a lot of mistakes, and it's a lot of learning. But the truth of the matter is, I can't land on someone's definition of superstar, because in my head there's so much to do.
Yeah.
So much.
Hey, Bryan, you just hit on something that I want, maybe we can sit with for a second, because nobody knows the pain, the struggle, the disappointments. Talk to me a bit about, and those things are happening at the same time we're seeing superstar.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me, Bryan, tell us, what were those moments, if there were those moments, we know there were, of how did you deal with the low moments?
Yeah, for me, and I wonder if it's
for you.
Yeah, I wonder if it resonates with anybody else out there. But for me, some of my lowest moments weren't necessarily when I was struggling. And the reason why I'm gonna say that again is because some of you out there that's listening to this right now, you've actually mastered the struggle. You become a master of the struggle.
Yeah.
Like, you know where to go to get food that's banging, that'll fill your stomach when you are broke. You know how to rob Peter to pay Paul. You know how to like pay a little bit on this thing, then move this thing over there, to then pay this thing. So that by the time that thing is really, really due, I can take it. Some people have mastered what it is to struggle and have to survive. So I don't look at those moments necessarily as my lowest moments. I'm going to speak to the core of spiritually and emotionally what my lowest moments were. The in between, the transitional periods, the in the meantime. Those are my lowest moments. It's a low, they feel so low emotionally and spiritually because you're not what you used to be, but you're not yet what you're becoming.
Ooh, yeah.
And in those in-between times, for those of you who's like, yeah, they on here talking so deep, let's get real. You know what a low moment is? When you done gone in 4 and 5 times for the role.
Yep.
And you know low key that you're like, whether it's through backdoor conversations or whatever, this might really be your role. But it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks. You went in for something and your agents told you might be pinned from it. You haven't heard anything, and it's been 3 months. I think I heard a interview with Cynthia Erivo talking about like when she went in for Wicked and then when she heard back. I think there was some distance. It was either her or Ariana. I think it was Cynthia. But my point is this. The transitional periods of my life usually are the hardest periods of my life. Because those are the moments where I need to have extreme faith and extreme hope and extreme belief in a time where my reality does not exactly look like what it feels like could happen. Also, there's usually a time where you have to let go of, I have had to let go of the parts of me that will no longer necessarily serve me in the new space. So those in-between times are hard. They're hard. And so, for example, going through one right now, DR from Detroit is coming back. That has not been announced yet. What you doing in the meantime? Perfect example. I did the workshop to play Marvin Gaye. Thought they were going to just offer me the role. They went out and still auditioned again. So I had to go through a whole nother set of audition processes to get my first principal on Broadway when I had already done it in a workshop. That time between the workshop and the first rehearsal is hell. Is this my role or is this not my role? Have I done the work that I think is worthy of this role? Yes. Does that matter? Maybe not. There's so many other factors. And I'm learning that being on this side of the table, a lot of us are like, I'm amazing. I know I'm doing the work, but they just want a name. Well, it's because they got to sell the thing. And they got to sell it. Not just about the work. They got to be able to sell it. People got to be able to buy it. You know what I mean? So it's like those in-between times for me, bro, are so rough. And the thing about it is because the circumstances of every in-between time look different every time they show up, I never feel like I've fully mastered it. I'm getting better at it. Self-care is a real big thing. Your spiritual practice is a real big thing. Having things that are yours to create and work on is a real big thing. Having a life outside of this industry is paramount. But even in all of those things I just mentioned, even in your spiritual work, there come transitional moments. And they show you where you still need to grow. They show you where your fear and your insecurity and your lack still is. And so for me, bro, every in-between time is hard.
It's interesting. It's interesting. My dad was one of my first teachers. In fact, he was my first teacher. That's how we met. My birth father died after I was born. And so I wandered into his class at 9 and we just fell in love with each other. It's the thing, I think I was 25. I think I was 25, Brian, when my dad said, well, not quite that young ingenue boy no more, and you ain't quite grown. So your phone's probably not gonna ring as much as it did from the ages of 17 through 25. He says, but remember when I forced you to do this, this, and this. So yes, it forces you to live on the edge of faith or in the center of faith. Yes, it forces you, and I love how you said this, it forces you to see those things in yourself that need to be pushed, challenged, pulled, investigated deeply. But it's also those moments where you build for yourself the thing that will sustain you, make room for you while you catch up.
Yeah. Yeah.
To that space. That in between is tricky. It's a tricky moment, and there comes so many gifts. And I love that you hit on, in those moments, having a deep spiritual connection,
For
whether it's
me.
Jesus or whoever, something bigger than you that will ground you in those moments of lean time or in between. And it's the thing that what else is in you while you're waiting for someone else to deposit a thing? What else is in you?
Now I'm about to shop. That's what it is. Cause I'm gonna tell you, bro, like for me, I think often, especially in the last like couple years, I think often of the process of a butterfly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me personally, I have been an amazing caterpillar. You know what I mean? I know how to be a good student and get the right grades. I know how to go to the right conservatories. I know how to show up to rehearsal on time, disciplined, like not complaining, knowing how to do the thing, right?
Yeah.
I was the caterpillar that you could not outwork me. Could not work me. That was the other thing. I'm not a lazy performer. I will come in and do the work, right?
Yeah.
That's caterpillar thought. Because what it takes to climb to the top of a tree for a caterpillar is a lot.
Yes.
But I was willing to do it. What happens when you do all of that work and then all of a sudden you're in the cocoon? You're in the caterpillar soup. You don't have your legs and your body the way you used to. Like, you don't even know what form you are because you can't see yourself. But what happens with that caterpillar is they go into that cocoon, they kind of dissolve. It's not like the caterpillar sprouts wings. They go in that cocoon and they become like a gooey, I don't know what this is. Those are what I would consider my low moments. When and let's take it to type. We talking about black men. Let's take it to dating and type. Let's get it. Come on in. Come on in. You gay, you straight, you pan, you know what I'm saying? But let's have a conversation.
Come on in.
There comes a time, right, where you figure out what your sexy is. And what I mean by that is you figure out how you can operate and how this thing that you are relates to other people. And then it changes.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine earlier this week. I couldn't believe he said it. He pulled me in and he was having a branding conversation. And he was like, you got all this stuff, but you ain't using it. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you do the philanthropic stuff. You do the spiritual stuff. You're like, I'm an artsy artist. I did Broadway. Man. I went to your school of drama, blah, 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 blah. He's like, yo, you a daddy. Go ahead. You Uncle Daddy.
Yep.
Why you not putting that? You got a beard that connect. Use it.
Yep.
It's that thing of like, oh, wow. I'm in my daddy. It's crazy because you don't. That's why I said the transition side is the low side because you're not fully aware. It's like, oh, I'm that dude now.
Yep.
Because let me tell you something. Idris don't have to lose 30 pounds and try to get a body that looks like Rome Flynn.
No.
Tyler Pelly. He's not playing the I'm 20s, 30s grown man trying to be. Idris is like, look, bro. It's giving daddy.
Yes.
It's giving daddy, it's giving uncle. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, we all grow into a different type of ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And we have to accept that maturity and love that maturity because there's a new story to be told.
Yep.
You hold yourself back trying to be what you were because you don't allow yourself to be present and be what you are. But also, it's sexiness when you click into that butterfly. You know what I mean? Like you might not know where you are in that in between, but when you become a butterfly, it's a lot easier to get to the top of the tree than it was when you were working so hard being a caterpillar. However, there are rules to the sky.
Yeah. Ooh.
So a lot of you have been like fighting to become this thing in the industry or fighting to become this thing in your art. But even once you get there, it's like starting all over again because yes, you were the best caterpillar in the world, but now you're a butterfly and it's the beginning of that journey and there are rules to the sky.
Yeah.
Your wings can't get wet like that.
That's right.
As a caterpillar, maybe it started raining and you was like, all right, cool, let me just crawl under this, whatever. But now you can't be out in the rain like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's a learning curve that happens when you step into the next season of your life. And for me, not to continue to reiterate, those in-between seasons are the trickiest for me, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? So I'm just learning to be present and learning to accept the growth and the development that God, life, the universe will put you through so that you can become the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Hey, what are you reading right now?
Ooh, okay. My business. So I'm reading I'm reading. Should I show you?
Yeah, go. Come on, show it.
No, because I'm gonna have to get up because some of them are by my bedstand. I just tell you. So in the morning, my besides writing my gratitude list, I'm also giving y'all a little bit of my playbook. But like every morning, and me and Diara actually still do this. We actually write down our gratitudes and send them to each other. That's the first thing I do, and then I read ancestors.
Ooh, stop for a moment. Stop for a moment, brothers. Ooh, I love this. We have to have someone to bounce our dreams and possibilities off of and to hold us accountable. Yeah, you just said it, but I love right now in that one-on-one moment where you said, we still send each other. Okay, sorry. I just need to point that out.
I know you asked me what I read, but I'm thinking through my day. My reading is connected to my life.
Tell us about
So the first thing I'm reading as soon as I wake up in the morning is Ancestor Says. Ancestor Said. It's a journal, and every date, there's like a different thing. And then I'm reading The Creative Act, kind of again by Rick Rubin. Amazing book for anybody that's creative. But he was the engineer for Michael Jackson. And a lot of other artists, but his point of view on what an artist's life is really, really beautiful. So I'm reading Ancestor Said, I'm reading that, and I'm reading, I feel like 2 other things right now. I'm also going back to Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. I've read it already, but I'm reading it again. So it looks like I'm reading a couple things that are new. And then there's one book that I will show y'all. Hold on.
Show us, come on. I love this.
If you are a writer out there, or even as an actor, when you're looking to develop character, there's this book right here, and it's called...
I love this. I have this.
You have this? Yeah, The Emotional Wounds Thesaurus. This is something I'm actively reading right now because I am in development on some projects. And so to go and figure out what that character's first core emotional wound is will help you realize all these other things about the character. So this is kind of like what I'm doing. Those things that I just told you are the things that I'm doing kind of from a spiritual, artistic perspective. The books that I'm reading at the moment.
Bryan, in these last few moments, can you believe an hour's already coming on?
Yo, that's because I talk a lot. So do you.
No, this is so good. This is so good. I want in these last few moments, you've got the kids from the 5th grade through high school class, and then you've got your those who are matriculating through Yale, like you did, and Temple. They're all in your living room. What are the things you say to them that you wish someone said to you coming in the game?
That's easy, because no matter whether you're in a conservatory or whether you're a 3-year-old, the thing that I wish somebody said to me is the magic and the thing you're looking for resides in you. You're it. You're it. And I think even if I told myself that when I was really, really young and I forgot it, if I start to look back at every success I had in my life, I would see myself there. The gold is in your authenticity. And everything that you've gone through, use it. That's the thing about artists that I feel like starts to happen. We go into these industries and we go, okay, what's the formula? How do I break the matrix? What's the algorithm? I'll figure it out and be successful, right? But then I'll be successful without satisfaction. Then I look at these artists and they're like, oh, I'll go and I'll pour out my heart and I'll pour out my soul to tell these other people's stories and these other people's stuff. And then there's no benefit, right? When you realize you're the magic, all the things that you've gone through, tell those stories, share those stories. All the things that might be weird that you're gifted at, start getting in collaboration and collaborating on all those different gifts that you have. Because when they come together is how you can make beautiful art. We're in collaborative art. That's the second thing I would say. Allow yourself to build your tribe. So the first thing is your authenticity. That's the magic. Your history, every experience, every up, every down, all of it is going to make a beautiful life, and that beautiful life is going to make beautiful art. The second thing is, as a collaborator, stop thinking you always have to look up and outside of yourself. Start looking to the side and look at the relationships that God has given you. You have talented, amazing people that you're connected to. Start coming together and making amazing things. Why not? Why not? That's what I would say. Those were the 2 things.
This is so good. Part of what this this spotlight series for us is informational for us to share and to encourage brothers who are coming up in back of us, those who are in the game who need to hear reminders. But it's also a chance for us to give our brothers like you their flowers now. You have been doing the damn thing, and one who's literally, we've been in this ride, and I celebrate every achievement. I celebrate every time I see you walk on screen. I'm like, that's my boy. Me and Clifton used to celebrate it a lot, celebrate you a lot. And so I just want to love on you and say, I'm so happy to call you friend. I'm so happy that you are doing the thing and that you are forging ahead and creating space and you're jumping into that next part of the ride. I'm excited to see, I'm a preacher boy, so I'm just going to speak prophetically to you. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of men the great things God has prepared for you, brother.
Wow, I received it. I received that because I know that even in this moment that we're having right now, the collaboration that happens in the fulfillment of someone's dream is a beautiful thing. Maybe that's the last thing I want to say.
Yes.
Don't let the enemy trick you into jealousy, and don't let the enemy trick you into envy. Somebody's win and somebody's expansion, if they're in your orbit and you see them, you're connected to that. You're a part of that. And so somebody's win and somebody's whatever, just celebrate it.
Yeah.
Just celebrate it, because you might be shocked how involved you might be in the next iteration of the blessing. You know what I mean? So don't look outside of yourself and judge somebody else's journey. One, it's never exactly what you think it is. Not experientially. It's never exactly what you think it is. And two, bless those who are blessed. Bless them.
Yeah.
Give them their flowers, because because that kind of energy will come back to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, brother. I pray that everything you've just spoken over me, that God gives you a double portion of the same, bro.
I received that. What a way to end this. Hey, you all. This is Black Broadway Men Spotlight Series. We were hanging out with BRYAN TERRELL Clark. Listen, follow us at blackbroadwaymen.org for all of the information about BBM, our programs, our blogs, what we're up to. Follow us and be sure to follow our awesome guest, BRYAN TERRELL Clark. BRYAN, tell us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at TheRealBTC. And if you're not on social media, which is some people just getting off, I understand. You can find me at my website, BRYANTERRELLClark.com. BRYAN TERRELL Clark.
Do it, friends. You will not be disappointed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Join us next time for another exciting guest on the BBM Spotlight Series. Peace.